I'm walking through what was once the village of Khatin. In March of '43, in retaliation for a partisan attack on a German convoy, the fascist invaders came to the village, locked over 180 people into a barn, poured petrol on it and set it on fire. People who tried to escape were machine gunned to death. 75 children died inside that barn along with their parents and grandparents. Afterwards, the village was wiped off the face of the map. The site of every former house in what was Khatin is now represented by these concrete foundations, and inside we can see the names and the ages of the people who died inside. Albert 15, Stasia 12, Dominic 7, Herenia 6, Tsepa 4 and Yuzik 2. Of course, it wasn't just Khatin that suffered such a fate. Over 5,000 villages and settlements in Belarus were wiped off the face of the map, burnt down and destroyed by the Germans under the occupation. By the end of the war, over 2 million Belarusians had been killed. Here are some of the names of the villages. Khatin is of course a reminder, as though any was needed, of just how much Belarus and the Belarusian people have suffered over the centuries at the hands of greater powers. In all my films of the region, we've always talked about the Soviet history, but what we've never really talked about is the Napoleonic history of the region, the great armies, invasion and then retreat. And here's a sign, a memorial basically to what happened here in the village of Studentka. Now you history buffs will know, but it says up here, from the 26th to the 28th of November 1812, the Russian army shelled the retreating Napoleonic army as they crossed the river Berezina. That's right, let's go down now to the village itself and have a look at the river where that took place. Interesting. It was here on the banks of the river Berezina that Napoleon's Grand Armée finally met its watery grave. Harassed and harried all the way from Moscow by Kutuzov's army and the Cossacks, they finally reached the banks of the Berezina here in Belarus, but the ice had melted and the men, the artillery, the horses could not cross. Sappers waded into the icy waters that cold night, constructing pontoons. Napoleon managed to escape in the morning, along with many of his generals, but the Russians, by that time, had caught up and started shelling the encampment. 20,000 Frenchmen died here at the Battle of the Berezina in Studentka. After some 200 years, the name of this little river in Belarus has entered the French language. If a Frenchman wants to say that something is a complete disaster, he will often say, ah ha ha ha, say yes, Berezina.